playing field. This article is all about proliferation of wide range of e-commerce platform has created a convenience and increased consumer choice, but in hindsight, initial cashback and deep discounts have turned out to be forerunner to addiction. Online aggregator platform have also damaged large segments of small and medium business through their dominant position and malpractices. This position allows them to indulge in. There is a clear pattern that shows the domination of few big platforms. These companies resort to predatory pricing to acquire customers. They take away choices from suppliers and consumers. This is in long run can be viewed as exclusionary practice that eliminate other players from the market. The ultimate loss bearer in the consumer is the consumer, who will have a reduced bargaining position due to the less competition, will subject to the arbitrariness of monopolistic conduct. But e-commerce platforms like Amazon and Flipkart, or food service aggregators like Zomato or Swiggy, or travel aggregators like Make My Trip or OYO, all have been accused of distorting the market. While neutrality is the fundamental basis of the marketplace, a level playing field is in fitness of things. Claim of outfits such as Flipkart or Amazon may be marketplace where wide variety of sellers can be questioned. A few select sellers who are generally affiliated with the platforms reap the benefit of greater visibility. The associate companies are prominent sellers on their platform. It is alleged that undue advantage is given while recommending or listing these products. Online travel aggregators are often accused of cartelization. Competition Commission of India's investigation in the OYO Make My Trip collusion case resulted in Make My Trip being ordered to relist properties of Tribu and Fab hotels. Such other arbitrary removals or suppression of listing of competitive products and services have also been heard of. While using these platforms, citizens share their voluntarily and involuntarily. Aggregators gather shopping habits, consumer preferences, and other personal data. The platforms are accused of using the data, and data is neither created by them nor of them created nor for them to create and improve their own products and services, taking away business from other sellers to on their platform. They capitalize on this data and information about other brands to launch a competitive product on their marketplace. They provide more prominent listing for their private labels, as they have complete control over the consumers' reviews and ratings on the platform. Another issue often noted is the lack of fair and transparent dispute resolution mechanism for sellers on this platform. Delayed payment and unreasonable charges and hidden fees are common occurrences. Small hardworking business, small restaurant complain that food service aggregators' inability to service a customer request is attributed to restaurant inability. Similarly, the hotels listed on these platforms are blamed for customers' grievances arising from overcommitting. In some cases, restaurants and hotels are arbitrarily shown as closed. And also, restaurants are many a time forced to accept orders at prices much lower than their agreement. Hotels are denied delisting from the platforms. Other exit clauses and are restrictive. Taxes attached with aggregators like Ola, Uber are pressurized to use the company's payment system. Across the world, small businesses are suffering from unethical practices and unequal bargaining power of these large platforms. It is a time that set a comprehensive rules and regulation to put together. These regulations need to be inclusive. A model agreement that is fair and allows a level playing field between the aggregator and their business partner should be implemented. There is a lot to learn from Digital Market Act of European Union that seeks to address unfair practices of these gatekeepers. The rule should allow for These rules should be allowed for punitive penalties for unfair practices. Market dominance and subsequent invoking of fair competition rules should be triggered at the level of micro markets and for product segments. Next article that we are moving is related to Punjab budget, no new taxes, 300 units of free power. With no new taxes imposed, Punjab we have saved rupees 220 crore as of of the state exchequer by doing away with multiple penalties of state legislature. This way, we will exercise austerity measure to ensure the people's money went back to people. While the government has not been able to fulfill the pre-poll promise by giving away 1,000 per month to women in its maiden budget for the want of funds, it announced 25 Mohalla clinic to be functional from August 15 and has set aside 1,800 crore for 300 units of free power to be rolled out to the people from July 1 onwards. Next article is poor needs same energy, rights access as rich, Prime Minister Modi. At the time when the India is facing criticism from the West for its purchase of a discounted oil from Russia amid in the war in Ukraine, Monday invoked need for to be able poor people to be able to access energy as much as rich. Climate energy, investing a better future in climate energy health, Modi said. All of you will also agree with this, and energy access should not be privilege of rich only. A poor family also have the same right on energy. Yeah, and today when energy costs are sky high due to geopolitical tension, it is more important to remember the things. We delivered LED bulbs, clean cooking door to door in India showed that millions of tons of carbon emission can be saved while ensuring energy for the poor. We must focus on the availability of fertilizer and keep the value chain of fertilizer smooth at the global scale. Second, India has immense agriculture manpower compared to the countries of G7. Systems for widespread use of Indian agriculture talent in its member countries. With the help of a traditional talent of India's farmers, food security will be ensured to the G7 countries. G7 countries to invest in research and manufacturing in green energy technologies. Ancient India has been seen as an immense of prosperity when we also tolerated centuries of slavery. 17% of world's population resides in India. And our contribution to global emission is only 5%. The main reason behind is our lifestyle, and this is based on theory of coexistence with nature. The rich countries of G7 will support India's effort. Today, a huge market for clean energy technology is emerging in India, he said. Next article is all about school poor in digital learning. 180 districts score less than 10%. As India entered the pandemic year, students in around 16% district of the country had very little exposure to digital learning due to the limited availability of computers, internet facilities, and teachers trained to handle the technology tools in the schools. The performance grading index for districts for 2019-2020 shows that schools across India performed poorly under the category of digital learning, which threw up the lowest score compared to the other parameters which were considered while creating the index. The index as many as 180 districts score less than 10% on digital learning. 46 districts score 11 to 20%, while 125 districts have scored 21 to 30%. The report also underlines that clear rural-urban divide in the area of digital learning. For instance, while districts in cities like Chandigarh and Delhi scored between 25 to 35 out of 50, places like Bihar, Sararia and Krishnaganj scored as low as 2%. Center has released the state-wise PGI index for the year 2019-2020 in June 2021. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the changes required in our existing system in terms of adoption of digital learning as a mainstream learning to continue education at home. Next article is all about Iskander missile system Russia has promised to arm Belarus with. Russia has promised its ally Belarus delivery of nuclear capable missile to take an aggressive. In the coming months, we will transfer the Belarus Iskander tactile missile system, which can be useful ballistic cruise missile in the conventional nuclear version. Missile system Iskander is a term used by Russia to define both the transporter erector launch system and short range ballistic missile it fires. Iskander system is exclusively used by Russian military, whereas Iskander is one meant for export. Iskander missile has a range of 500 km. It can carry a payload of 700 kg. It is capable of carrying both conventional and nuclear warheads. Conventional warhead is equipped with the cluster bombs, electromagnetic pulse warheads, and bunker buster munition, according to the US-based Missile Defense Advocacy Alliance. Russia has made the Belarus announcement at the time when G7 meets in Germany. It is one one more time, the Putin has raised a nuclear weapon as a sort of warning to the West against climbing the escalation ladder in the Ukraine war. Next article that we are moving into is related to the rule 2 by 3rd rule in anti-defection law. Under the anti-defection law, a member of a legislature can be disqualified if he or she has voluntarily given up the membership of the political party, if he votes or abstains from voting in the house contrary to any direction issued by the party. There is a provision to protect such legislators from the disqualification. If 2/3 of the members agree to merge with the other party, they will not be disqualified under 91st Amendment to the Constitution of 2003. The exemption from disqualification if 1/3 of the members form a separate group was removed. The petition of Supreme Court judgment in Nabam Rabia Felix, Deputy Speaker, Arunachal Legislative Assembly 2016, in which the court held that the Speaker faces a motion for his own removal first. Both the Constitution provides the 10th schedule in the Article 179C would have independent operational space preserved. The constitutionally impermissible for a Speaker to adjudicate upon disqualification petitions under 10th schedule while motion of resolution for his removal from office is pending. In 1992 Constitution Bench judgment in Quijota Colahan Jachilu has clearly laid down that the courts cannot interfere until Speaker makes a decision, and that Speaker has sweeping discretion in deciding the cases of disqualification of MLA. He said the Article 212 bars the court from inquiring into the proceedings of the legislature and asserted that the Speaker was contemplated to decide the disqualification plea under 10th schedule of the Constitution when notice of his removal is under Constitution. The economy article that we are moving into is about GST cuts no passed on, L'Oreal told to pay up. The National Anti-Profiteering Authority has asked L'Oreal to pay 186 crore along with 18% interest to the Consumer Welfare Fund for not passing GST rate cut benefits. Niti Aayog pitches for incentives to draw more women to gig economy. Let us see gig workers lack of benefits. Gig workers are typically hired by companies on a contractual basis, are not considered employees. They do not receive some of the benefits that are on-roll staff does. In an attempt to increase the participation of women in the gig economy, Niti Aayog has proposed fiscal incentives like tax break or a startup grant for companies with about 2/3 of their workforce as a woman and people with disabilities. Financial incentives such as tax break or startup grants may be provided for business that provide livelihood opportunities where women constitute a substantial portion of their workers. Fiscal incentives, Niti Aayog said in a report titled India's Booming Gig and Platform Economy. A reporter also said women are more likely to take up platform jobs after their education and marriage. The report also said the female labor participation in India has remained low, oscillating between 16 to 23%. Similarly, persons with disabilities who make up for 2.11 to 10% of India's population was a labor force participation rate of 36%. Structural barriers like access to education, lack of skilling has hindered the participation of two demographic areas in the country. The report estimates that more than 7.5 million workers are engaged in gig economy in 2020-2021. 2.3 million workers in the next 8 years, marking up 4.1% of livelihood in India. According to the report, at present, about 47% of gig workers is in medium skilled jobs, about 22% is in high skilled job. Gig workers can be broadly classified into platforms, non-platform workers. Platform workers are those whose work is on online software apps or digital platforms, while non-platform gig workers are generally casual wage workers are working part-time or full-time. The report also recommended that businesses have a higher share of women managers and supervisors in the organization to ensure that communication to workers does not perpetuate gender stereotype. To encourage increased and equal participation in gig economy, the report also said social security benefits be extended to the workers in partnership mode as envisaged in the Code of Social Security 2020. Business offers paid sick leave to these workers. Apart from insurance cover, gig workers are typically hired by companies on a contractual basis, are not considered their employees. As a result, they do not receive some of the benefits that are roll-on employees that an roll-on that on roll employees of the company may have. This means they often do not receive benefits like paid sick or casual leaves, travel and housing allowance, and provide provident fund savings. The report also recommended that the firms adopt policies that offer old age retirement plans and benefits and other insurance covers for contingencies such as injury arising from the work. Niti Aayog added that access to institutional credit would be enhanced through the financial product, especially designed for platforms workers and those interested in setting their own platforms. This is what all about. Next article is NATO to increase rapid reaction force to 3 lakh modernized Ukraine armament. This article talks about the military alliance will increase the size of its rapid reaction forces nearly 8-fold to 3 lakh troops as a part of its response to era of strategic competition. Russia forces assault Lysychansk. Biggest policy. NATO's new strategic concept, its most important document, is expected to address for the first time the security challenges posed by China. The alliance members countries are also growing wary of growing influence of China, Russia in the region's southern neighborhood. Next article is US to provide surface-to-air missile to Ukraine. US is purchasing NASAM's Norwegian developed anti-aircraft to provide medium to long-range defense. Condition of anonymity. NASAM is the same system used by US to protect the sensitive airspace around the White House and US Capitol in Washington. Next article is all about Qatar to host indirect Iran-US discussion receiving nuclear deal. Qatar will host indirect talks between Iran and US in coming days. Iranian media reported on Monday. Let us see one of the port in the last article. That's all. If you like the video, please. The port name is Jordan's Aqaba port. Okay, storage tank at Aqaba port that is present in Jordan. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment and subscribe. If you have any doubt, please mention in the comment section. Thank you. Have a nice day.